what do we have here? It's a modular system. So it's a modular Eurorack case system by a newish company. They were formed last year in 2020 in the UK. And the idea being is that as your modular system grows, so does your racks. So you're not left with all sorts of different cases. You've got a nice matching set. And they got in touch with me and asked me if I'd like to demo this. I think after seeing my 5-step guide to creating your own Eurorack system, where I talk about the sort of confusion that you get when you're trying to set your own system up. It's, you know, you need a case, but you need the power for that case, and you need to know what you're going to put in that case, but you don't know what you can get before you know what case you're going to use, and you don't know what case you're going to use until you know what bits you're going to get. It's just a whole minefield when you start getting into Eurorack. So it's nice that there's a system here that's flexible and you can start off small and it grows with you. So they sent this to me, and happy to take a look at it, because I've been looking at getting some new bits as well. So you could start off with a lowly skiff and something like a tip-top Zeus for power, then add a 3-unit and a stand, then add another 3-unit to give 9 in total, then add a 6U. Now we've got 12 all screwed into the stand. But although it's not recommended or mentioned on their website, I wouldn't be afraid of screwing another onto the top. And so you can see how this can grow really organically, and I reckon that would have taken me at least a couple of weeks to fill. In my 5-step guide, I got the Arturia Rack Brute, and I chose that because it came with power. It was 6U high, 84 wide, so the same as this section here, but it was just really simple for me. And at the time I was thinking, I don't really know what to do about power. I don't know, I just want to get something that I can plug in and it works. But these days I know a little bit more. It's not as complex as you first think. So actually buying a unit and then putting your own power in isn't difficult in any way, really. And looking at these, they don't come powered. You've got these little holes in the back so you can power through the back, so you don't have to take your leads from the front, which is one of the downsides of the Arturia. The Arturia is also modular in that you can have the 6U, and you can have the 6U with a 3U, or 2 6Us, or two 3Us of it. But this is a little bit more flexible, because if we look at the website, we've got 3Us, we've got 6Us. You can see all the sort of different configurations that you can make, and actually not limited that, because I've been having a little play with this today myself and just trying out different configurations and see which works best for me. And the website is actually a really good resource for working out what may be good for you. If you go to this configurator page, we can see if we've got a 3U, might want a stand for it. Then do we want another 3U? How about a drawer? And the drawer is genius, actually. Got one down here, because as soon as you start playing with Eurorack, you need somewhere to put lots of little bits and bobs. So great idea, that. Anyway, these mini leg stands, or the standard leg stands, and they're just really easy to make. These, they come just as a section like that. So this is the mini one. Nothing complex there. And on this one, I've actually got the long ones at the minute, so that I can put the skiff in there. So there's a skiff, there's a 3U, there's a 6U. You can get them flat pack, which I've got in front of me here. I'm gonna try and build this on camera, see how that goes, but it does look really, really simple. You can buy them assembled, costs a little bit more, and assembled and oiled, and they're really nice. And they actually look like really high quality things. They're not budget by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not expensive either. I was taking a look at if we just bought a 3U one, flat packed, £90, then adds this power bus bundle, that's £72. So the total so far is £162. Let's add some rails to that then, that adds another £40, so it's £130. Add on to that the 72, that's £202. Other equivalent systems I've looked at are this dupe for one I've got here. And that comes with its own power, that's the same power as I've just looked at. And that's £219, not quite as attractive as these, and they're definitely not modular, and you can't build a system from it. Then if we want it assembled, we have another £20, and that's £222, so it's about the same as the Doofer. But if you want it waxed and oiled, we're going to spend another £20 on top of that, and that brings us to £242. But it looks like it's worth more than the Doofer, and it's got all the modular aspects to it as well. It is a really nice looking thing, and if we look closely at it, there's really nice touches. It all seems to just look quite sexy. Even so on these knobs, we've got the sort of a plastic sandwich with with either a wood effect or wood in the middle. And the cases themselves are made with MDF with an oak veneer. And if you look at them closely, they're really, really well machined, and they're actually machined by a laser. So all the detailing on it feels really nice. It feels well thought out. On the back of it, we have these plates that we can put on. And that fits a standard power socket and switch, just like one of these from Amazon, which is the same as the one in the power bundle I've ordered. So let's take a look at sticking this one together, shall we? So we've got two side panels, the back with the power hole, and the top and bottom. Here we've got the rails. They did send this to me, and this has got sliding nuts. I'm not a massive fan of sliding nuts, but for an extra whole £10, you can get it with drilled holes, which is nice. So I'll put the rear down first, slot in a top. That's a really nice, good fit. Let's slot in the bottom now. Again, really nice, snug fit. Let's see how I can do this. Not too difficult. Well, that was an awful lot easier than I was expecting. So now we've got the rails to put in. We've got screw holes at the top and the bottom for the rails, obviously. So and that's been the longest part of the whole process, and that's why I'm not a massive fan of nuts. I know some people like the sliding nuts. Me, just give me a drilled rail anytime. But nice of them to send me this, no matter what. But if I was buying it myself, I would buy I'd pay the extra £10. So there you go, finished. I've not put the back on it yet, so it does come with the screws to do this. Shall we do it anyway? These all come nicely sort of wrapped up in this white stuff so it don't get scratched. Gonna get scratched now though by me probably. Again, all this is really easy. There's pre-drilled guide holes and stuff, so really nice. So I think what I'll do now is I'll put it onto this rack I've got here. So just slide the bottom in. There's two little arrows to show you where to do that. Although I'm not sure the difference between doing it one way to the other. It looks exactly the same, but just in case there is one. There we go. And now you've just got to be a little bit careful when you put them together. I can take actually one of these out of this one, because it's a little bit wobbly as you're doing it, but once it's up and everything's sort of screwed in, it's rock solid. So there we go. Put the skiff at the bottom, or should we put the drawers in this one? And then we screw that in as well. Make sure it's nice and tight, so everything's just solid. So there you go, nice little system. Really nice idea. You can see this one's a slightly different colour to the others. It's not been oiled. What they call the oil versions are oiled with Danish oil and finished off with beeswax. And it's a really nice looking job. So yeah, I've got I've got a few more units I need to be sticking into something. And yeah, I'm going to be using this. I really like it. Well, I hope that was of some use to somebody somewhere, and if it was, please think about subscribing and ringing that bell, and also join me on my Patreon page where I've got hours and hours worth of tutorials showing you how to get the most out of your synths. And if you are thinking about getting into modular and you're looking at cases and you're looking at how the whole thing works, check out my 5-step guide. It's quite good, quite comprehensive, and really dumbed down because when I made it, I was trying to learn it all myself. So I will see you next time.